Good morning. Good to be here with you this morning. All of you joining us online. Kind of an exciting morning. We have a very special guest with us, coming in through Zoom in a little bit. So look forward to seeing Mark Nepo. We're going to start with this song. Everything I need to know about what lies before me is available to me through the mind of God within me. Here we go. Why don't you stand up and join us?
Everything that I need to know about what lies before me, everything that I need to know about what lies before me is available to me, is available to me through the mind of God within me.
Try that. Everything that I need to know
about what lies before me, everything that I need
to know
about what lies before me is available to me, is available to me through the mind of God within me.
Everything I need to do,
Everything that I need
to do
about what lies before me, everything that I need
to do
about what lies before me is available to me, is available to me through the mind of God within me.
to love,
Everything that I need
to love
about what lies before me, everything that I need
to love
about what lies before me is available to me, is available to me through the mind of God within me.
freeform.
Ba-ba-da-da-da,
Ba-da.
ba-ba-ba-da-da-ba-da-da-da-da,
Ba-da. To know,
everything that I need
to know
about what lies before me, everything that I need
to know
about what lies before me is available to me, is available to me through the mind of God within me.
where?
Through the mind of God within
One more
me.
time.
Through the mind of God within me.
Good morning again and welcome. And we'll welcome up Karina Reinhold as our platform elf this morning. Everything you need to know, Karina knows all about it and is going to tell you right now.
Oh, yeah. Welcome to Unity Church. I can tell you how happy I am to be here and see my friends, my Unity friends, see people here and share this moment with you. Thank you for being here. And anyway, I hope most of you are as delighted as I am. And welcome everybody who is watching us through Zoom, and especially all of those of you who are newcomers. I don't think there is any newcomer here, right? Am I right? All right. Otherwise, I would tell you to meet me afterwards, and I can give you a tour. But if you're watching through YouTube, you can contact any member of the board to know a little bit more about us. And now, the opening prayer that comes to us with this, everything that we need to know is inside of us because we are one, right? The poem comes from a book from Linda Martella Wilsett, who is going to visit us around September. So here we go. I am now in the presence of pure being, immersed in the Holy Spirit of life, love, and wisdom. I acknowledge thy presence and power, O blessed Spirit. In thy divine wisdom, now erase my mortal limitations. From thy pure substance of love, bring into manifestation my world according to thy perfect law. I am the presence of pure being, emanating from Holy Spirit of life, love, and wisdom. I am all that God is, expressing at the point of me. As I express divine wisdom, all thoughts of mortal limitations have no power over me. I am the substance and power of pure love, bringing into manifestation my world according to divine law. And before I continue, let me say, this is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Yay. And with that energy, let's call in the new minister. So together we affirm that we are calling in and are ready to receive a wonderful minister who is heart-centered, wise, humorous, sincere, collaborative, and well-organized, and who openly walks a spiritual path of growth, deepening consciousness and loss. Yes, and so it is. Yay! And see it here already. So I'm going to stand again. Welcome to all. Welcome, Dave. And welcome to everyone who is just joining in, and welcome especially all of you who are new to Unity. And I want to reiterate that, especially for those who are new, please make an effort to contact somebody from the community. You can call in Unity and talk to somebody from the board. So, welcome. And now, some announcements. What is happening at Unity? So, the news from the board really is what we are living here today. We are reopening Unity. This is the second time we meet in person, and I think we're all tickled with delight about being able to gather in small groups, as you see here. We are restricting the number of people at the church to 40, and that's why we need to ask you that if you intend to be present on a Sunday service, that you please register by calling in the number on the screen. It's a Unity number with extension just for the board. And please let us welcome Donna, come in, yay. And yeah, and the deadline for registration is Thursday because we need to take down the names and so forth. But if you have been registering already, you know that we put messages to let you know whether we're full or not. And sometimes, I mean, if the space is available, we allow for walk-ins. Like today, we have about 20 people, so you never know. But please know that if you're walking in, you may be told that there is no space. So just know that we are doing it for our health and to keep the whole community healthy. A news with regard to how to support the church. So we've been accepting love donations through the usual way, which is writing a check to Unity or through PayPal. But with moving with the times, we're now partnering with Banco, which is an app that you can have on your phone so you can donate through text to make your life easier. So I think so far one person has made it this month, and we see, as the newer generations come in, I'm sure they are going to be using it more because they're used to that. So anyway, the next announcement is what is happening. Well, I mean, the amazing speakers that we've been having. We have, we're bringing people that are not just locally known, they're known throughout the whole United States. So today we have the amazing Mark Nepo. But before I go more on to describing or introducing him and calling him in, I want to make a brief mention about next Sunday, that we're going to have Greg Levoy, who is a renowned journalist who has been writing in well-known outlets like USA Today, the New York Times Magazine, the Washington Post, and many other places. He is a deep spiritual person, and he's going to have a seminar for us after the service, which is called What Trusting the Universe Really Means. So this is going to be held at 12:30 next Sunday, and I am encouraging everybody to sign up for that. The cost is $25. And today we are so delighted to have the amazing Mark Nepo. He is a poet, a spiritual teacher, and a storyteller. He was born in New York, so he's a fellow New Yorker. But also he had lived in the capital region, so perhaps some of you know him personally. He was a professor at the University of Albany, so I feel a special association with him. I haven't met him, but I'm delighted about that. And he has written so many books. I lost a track of how many, but he's probably best known for the New York Times bestseller, #1 bestseller. And I don't want to get this wrong. The Book of Awakening, yes, that was my next page. So anyway, so that goes with our own path that we're carrying out here in the Unity, the path of awakening, that as a whole congregation we are bringing in. So, with much ado, let's have Mark Nepo by himself tell us more about him and about the service that he will do today on the topic of Inside Everything. Mark, a very special welcome for you.
Thank you so much. Good morning, and good morning, everyone. It's a joy to be with you. And, we were chatting before when we were checking the sound that many years ago, I think 1990, I spoke at Unity when you all would meet in the Women's Club of Albany over on Western Avenue in that beautiful wooden room. My dearest, oldest friend who still lives in Albany, Robert Mason, was deacon at the time. So I feel very much at home. Yes, I lived in Albany for many, many years. Great to be back.
And we're so glad to have you. So,
thank you.
Yeah. So, moving on with the announcements, tonight at 7 p.m., please join us for the one song, and the topic is Satchit Ananda, Truth, Being, and Bliss. And the other part of the news from the board is all the things that are happening in Unity. So you already know them because we have had the meeting at the park. We have worked with a large group to reopen the church. By the way, we have fixed the air conditioning that has been broken for a long time so that we can be here more comfortably and with air circulation and so forth. But we're planning more outside events as much as possible. We have the spiritual hikers that are meeting regularly, and that's going very, very well. And next Saturday, there's going to be a meeting at the park to watch the play Matilda. Oh, okay, good. Okay. So please correct that. It's Friday at 6. No, the play is at August 6th. And the play is at 8, so I suggest that you gather around around the playhouse earlier than that. But please, please, please reach out to Fred Effelbein. Is the number there to reach him? It's in the newsletter. Okay, so please check the newsletter for more information. Oh, by the way, Fred says that he needs help. So if anybody wants to help him, please, please, please call him. And what else is going on? We keep having the book club on Mondays, and we are reading a book by Linda Martella Wilsett again, because we did a workshop with her about affirmative prayer, just like the prayer I opened in today. And in the Monday book, we are reading Divine Audacity, which is really moving. We continue to have the heart-to-heart sessions on Tuesdays at noon, and on Thursdays, prayer hour at 9 a.m. We also have the Sunday fellowship hour after service at 11:30. And we have one additional meeting on Fridays, but this is a social hour. So please check the website for the link to that meeting if you want to get together with other Unitarians. I mean, Unitics, right? Unitics. All right. We are a praying church. That's the basis that's the basis and the strength of our church. And we have a very dynamic prayer support group, the prayer chaplains, and that work together with a larger group, which is the prayer support. So please call or send an email if you are in need of support, and also if you want to celebrate your life. You know, sometimes there are events happening, and here is a group of people with whom you can also celebrate and share your good news and call for support. They have been amazing through all this time, supporting all of us. And now, the daily word. So for Sunday, July 25th, the word is journey. My life journey begins and ends in the heart of God. I feel excitement at the beginning of a journey, thinking about adventures, beautiful sights, and the fascinating people I will find at my journey's end. Even as I look forward to reaching my destination, however, I remain alert, open to the adventures and insights that await discovery along the way. My faith tells me that my spiritual journey began in the heart of God long before my human birth. In childhood, I'd look outward, looking for the adventures that would become waypoints on my journey to maturity. Now I journey inward, looking for the spiritual home I never really loved. I am learning that the most ordinary day can become an opportunity to realize that the heart of God is present everywhere. The Lord will keep you going out, and you're coming in from this time on and forevermore. Psalm 121:8.
Thank you, Karina. We're going to do a little song. You probably knew that. And simple song with a simple and powerful message. We are part of something greater. So we'll start it out. There's a kind of chorus, and we'll sing it once, ask you to join us the next time, a couple times. So here we go. 3 and 4.
We are part of something greater. part of something greater than any one of us could ever be.
We are part of something greater, something so much greater than any one of us could ever be.
Here's the chorus.
We are all joined together in our hearts, in our minds, and in our souls. We are part of something greater, part of something greater than any one of us could ever be.
Try that with us.
We are all joined together in our hearts, in our minds, and in our souls. We are part of something greater, part of something greater than any one of us could ever be.
We are all joined.
We are all joined together in our hearts, in our minds, and in our souls. We are part of something greater, something so much greater than any one of us could ever be.
So just feel that truth in this moment. Feel that greater presence that is very clearly here with us this morning. And we'll bring Karina back up.
We are indeed part of something greater. So I invite you now to join me in the statements of the vision and mission statements and core values. Vision statement. A world transformed through the spiritual awakening of all. Mission statement. Where we awaken to and embrace the divine essence of all beings through prayer and service in our community and in the world. And core values. It's all about love. We are a spirit-centered community. We warmly welcome all. We embrace diversity. We walk our talk with integrity. We are compassionate. We are joyful. We practice sacred service. We claim a spiritual abundance. And now, the statement of oneness. The power of Christ's love now releases me from any sense of separation from spirit or others. There is only one presence and one power in my life and in the universe, the all-loving goodness of God.
We'll do a little song to bring us to a place of stillness I'm not sure when Mark is going to lead a meditation. It may be right at the beginning or maybe later, but this will prepare us for his message this morning. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. I will leave this world as it is, go inside to find my God. I will leave this world as it is, go inside to find my God. Try that again. And I will leave this world as it is, go inside to find my God. I will leave this world as it is, go inside to find my God. Inside there is peace, inside there is joy, inside there is more than enough. Inside there is peace, inside there is joy, inside there is sacred love. Leave this day. I will leave this day as it is, go inside to find my God. I will leave this day as it is, go inside to find my God. Inside there is peace, inside there is joy, inside there is more than enough. Inside there is peace, inside there is joy, inside there is sacred love. We'll leave this life. I will leave this life as it is, go inside to find my God. I will leave this life as it is, go inside to find my God. Go inside to find my God. I'll go inside to find my God. And we welcome Mark Nepo. Hello, Mark.
Good morning again, and thank you so much. It's a joy to be with you today. And I'd like to explore the theme inside everything with you by sharing a few reflections and then reading some of my poems. And I'd like to begin with a poem of mine as an invocation and a meditation. It's called If You Want a True Friend. If you want a true friend, just open your hands and say, I don't know. Say it softly and wait so your other can see that you mean it. Give them a chance to drop what they think is secret. Let them come up with a cup of what matters from the spring they show no one. Let them sigh and admit that they don't know either. Then you can begin with nothing in the way. Go on, admit to the throb you carry in your heart, and let the journey begin. You know, it's been amazing and challenging to go through this whole almost year and a half of the pandemic that seems to be coming to a close. And it has highlighted for me, as a long-term cancer survivor, the challenge of difficulty and transformation that we all meet individually and collectively all the time. So I want to share a quote from a singer-songwriter, May Erlewine, a very precocious old soul I've met out here in Michigan, who's very young and amazing. And one of her songs, she has this line, "Make it whole again with our holy hands, as only we can." And I think we're being asked to make it whole once again. You know, it's a law of spiritual physics that things always come together and they always fall apart. And every generation is faced with making it whole again. And now it's our turn to reknit the kinships that hold life together. Because when all else fails, we are called to turn to the eternal resources that are inside everything. And all the traditions speak of this renewal in the face of suffering. They may call it different things and approach it from different positions, but all the traditions speak of this renewal. How do we try to accept and begin again in a way that is more giving and more loving? Well, the first way, again by many names, is by being true and authentic. And how do we do that? How do we stay true and authentic? Well, by holding and listening. These are two of the oldest medicines that we have as human beings, right from the beginning of time. I can say to you honestly, I have never held or been held when it hasn't been healing. And I have never listened or been listened to when it hasn't been healing. And that, I may not want to hear all the time what I'm being asked to listen to, but that doesn't mean it hasn't been healing. And it's interesting, the word authentic itself goes back to the Greek authentes, which means the mark of the hands, the mark of the hands. And I learned from a retired physician, pediatrician, that when a child is formed in the womb, literally the heart is the first thing that forms, and the next are the hands start to literally grow out of the heart, and they're known as arm buds. And so what we reach for in the world does come directly from inside and from our heart. This is why when we're passionate, we talk with our hands. This is why a sign of a heart attack is we feel it in our arms. So to be authentic is to take what's in the heart and bring it into the world. And even our biology affirms this. So our relentless care is what makes us whole again. And this has always been so. So I want to share one more reference point about all this. And this goes back to a philosopher, a Chinese philosopher by the name of Mencius, Mencius. He lived about 300 BC, and he wonderfully believed that it is in our nature to care. And he had a beautiful metaphor for this. He said, as water will flow downhill and join other water, if left to its own nature, so too human kindness. We can manipulate water, we can dam it, and we can pipe it or channel it, even to go uphill. But if allowed its true nature, water will always flow downhill and join other water. And Mencius said, human beings are souls, where that kindness starts. Yes, allowed our true nature, we will always flow in kindness and join each other. We can be manipulated or manipulate ourselves out of fear and pain and worry to be other than kind, but allowed our true nature, we will always find each other and join in kindness. Now, in the Chinese culture, our impulse to care is known as Ren, R-E-N. And when pressed to describe this impulse to kindness, Mencius really couldn't put it into a sentence or two, but he came up with this image. He said, I don't know what to call it, but if you were to see a child about to fall into a well, the impulse in you to save that child, that is Ren, R-E-N. And in the Jewish tradition, there is a term, a phrase, an ethic known as tikkun olam. And this means we are here to repair the world. But since we are the world, we must start by repairing ourselves. And this for me brings me to the poems that I share. So, I want you to know that I, by retrieving the poems, retrieving more than authoring, this is how I repair myself. It's how I listen to the mystery and grow. I listen with my heart, and the poems come to be my teachers if I stay in conversation with them. And I share this because this is not just a creative process, this is a spiritual introspective one. I just happen to write it down. And so I encourage you to listen with your heart to life in your days and to stay in conversation with the teachers that show up. So this brings me to the poems I'd like to share. And I want to begin with this poem called Inside Everything. And it's short, and I'll read it twice. Inside everything. Keep trying to hide, and in time you become a wall. Keep trying to love, and in time you become love. Our journey on earth is to stop hiding so we can become love. Everything else is a seduction and a distraction. Courage is staying true. Inside everything. Keep trying to hide, and in time you become a wall. Keep trying to love, and in time you become love. Our journey on earth is to stop hiding so we can become love. Everything else is a seduction and a distraction. Courage is staying true. So I invite you with these poems, let them sit where they will in your heart. You'll get what you need. And don't worry about what they might mean. Just feel them, receive them. This next poem is about listening to the story we are in rather than insisting on the story we want to tell. Otherwise, we stop growing. And this was written during the last year. This is called The Great Waters. In the beginning, I thought I was going somewhere. I thought we all were. But falling in while trying to cross, I finally understood the journey is to follow the river. All the rivers, especially the ones no one can see. The soul is a fish whose home is in those rivers. So I can take you across if you want, but the secret is to go everywhere by going nowhere. And I will be here when you fall in, which is not a failure, but an awakening. So we're so busy trying to cross the river that we seldom realize we're meant to flow in God's river. Medieval monks in Europe, when asked how they practiced their faith, said by falling down and getting up. And I love that. I love that. And I also believe that our heart is our strongest muscle. And I can affirm for you, despite the suffering I've experienced in my life, my heart has never let me down. It has, in fact, been my greatest teacher. And this next poem speaks to the wisdom of a broken, open heart. A wisdom I think we all need again right now. This poem is called The Lesson. When young, it was the first fall from love. It broke me open the way lightning splits a tree. Then years later, cancer broke me further. This time, it broke me wider the way a flood carves the banks of a narrow stream. Then having to leave a 20-year marriage. This broke me the way wind shatters glass. Then in Africa, It was the anonymous face of a schoolboy beginning his life. This broke me yet again, but this was like hot water melting soap. Each time I tried to close what had been opened. It was a reflex, natural enough, but the lesson was, of course, the other way, in never closing again. You know, the great Sufi teacher Hazrat Inayat Khan said, God breaks the heart again and again and again until it stays open. And of course, there's a paradox here because certainly we open and close all the time. My heart is opening and closing. My lungs are open. My eyes are blinking as I'm talking to you. So what do we mean never closing again? Well, you know, in this, the sun is our great teacher. The sun emanates light and warmth in all directions without preference. And the heart is our inner sun. So our job inside is to never close off that inner light and warmth. Yes, in the world I need to discern, is it safe to be vulnerable with you? Are you trustworthy? But this is opening and closing the blinds. This is not shutting off the inner light. And the next thing I want to share is a little story. And this is actually the story of a wonderful soul I met. His name is Eric, and he's a TV producer in Montreal, but he is also a Sufi, and we both were speaking at a conference, and we became instant friends. You know how that can happen in those wonderful moments, like we knew each other forever. And he gave me permission to share his story, and I want to share this. This is called Depth Seeks Us. We met in the mountains far from the sea, but in his eyes I saw the sea. Somehow we'd known each other for a long time. He was born and raised in Montreal, and his English cupped in French lapped like small waves in the air between us. On the third day he said to me, I don't tell this very often, but I was not very happy as a young man. I worried about the world and if all that mattered would make it through. He looked younger than he was. He folded his napkin and continued and said, I was annoyed by everything, never sure if those who put things together could outlast those who break things apart, and honestly, it made me somewhat dark. He leaned back and went on. Everyone thought I was too critical, but we were all trained in the mind at an early age. Anyway, I was 21, half interested in everything, on a harbor ship full of tourists, annoyed at their eagerness. The clouds were thick and the sea was choppy, and suddenly a school of belugas circled the stern and everyone went running. I saw their soft whale heads round the surface and return, and I thought, how disappointing this is all we get to see. He sighed and shook his head a bit and went on again. I wandered to the bow to get away from everyone and leaned over the rail. The ship bounced into the waves, spray on my face. It felt good to be left alone. And then, from under the bow, a mountain of a fish lifted the ship. It was a great blue whale peeling back the sea. And there, right before me, its gigantic eyes staring into mine, an eye as wide as peace, as deep as all time. It stared through the bottom of my heart. I tell you, that moment, eye to eye, felt like a lifetime. And in that brief lifetime, everything was aglow. I can see it all now, the water streaming from its godlike eye, the God in that massive eye, searching for the God in me. And before it swept back into the sea, it took all my doubt with it. Everything seemed softer and truer. By now, his eyes had widened in the telling, and we were drifting into each other even more. He took my hand and said, I was born in the eye of the whale. What an amazing story. You can't make these things up. And so, you know, every soul on earth will be given the chance to be dropped into the depth of life. Now, for Eric, it was very dramatic. A whale literally lifted up the boat that was carrying him. but it could be very, very normal and less traumatic in your life. You know, teachers are everywhere. In the Hindu tradition, there is a term, upa guru, which means the teacher that is next to you at this moment. And there is always a teacher next to you at this moment. Now, in this next poem, the teacher is a simple fly, as undramatic as Eric's whale was dramatic. This is called At the Window. I was at the window when a fly near the latch was on its back, spinning, legs furious, going nowhere. I thought to swat it, but something in its struggle was too much my own. It kept spinning and began to tire. Without moving closer, I exhaled steadily, my breath a sudden wind, and the fly found its legs, rubbed its face, and flew away. I continued to stare at the latch, hoping that someday the breath of something incomprehensible would right me and enable me to fly. There are teachers everywhere. It could be a fly, it could be a whale, it could be the light on a broken piece of glass in an alley. God shows up in thousands of ways. This next poem is called Thinking Like a Butterfly. Monday, I was told I was good. I felt relieved. Tuesday, I was ignored. I felt invisible. Wednesday, I was snapped at. I began to doubt myself. On Thursday, I was rejected, and now I was afraid. On Saturday, I was thanked for being me. My soul relaxed. On Sunday, I was left alone, till the part of me that can't be influenced grew tired of submitting and resisting. Monday, I was told I was good. By Tuesday, I got off the wheel. Now that place in us that can't be influenced, that's the place inside everything where God lives. And we are human, so all of the different reactions we have are normal. But we return to that place that can't submit or resist, that just is. Now, did I really get off the wheel on Tuesday? Of course not, because I'm human. So why did I end the poem there? Certainly not to have you think of me better than I am, but because I need to have something to aspire to. And the purpose of poetry, of all art, is to marry what is with what can be so we can move forward. This next poem is a lesson to me from a teacher about grief. There's been so much loss in this last year and a half, and I want to share something about grief, that harsh and great teacher. You know, about before the pandemic, actually 4 or 5, maybe 6 years ago, both my wife Susan and I went through about a year or more where we had immense grief just come one after another. In that time, we lost Susan's mother. We lost both my parents. We lost our dear dog child, whose name was Mira. And I lost a mentor of mine, Joel, who lived to be 102. And one day, on a beautiful day like today, I was sitting on our deck in our backyard, and the grief all hit me at once. I just was thrown into this deep, deep pain. And yet the day was beautiful, and I couldn't choose between the two, and I was thrown into a place where my heart had to accept both, and it led to this lesson, and this poem is called Adrift. Everything is beautiful, and I am so sad. This is how the heart makes a duet of wonder and grief. The light spraying through the lace of the fern is as delicate as the fibers of memory forming their web around the knot in my throat. The breeze makes the birds move from branch to branch as this ache makes me look for those I've lost in the next room, the next song, in the laugh of the next stranger. In the very center under it all, what we have that no one can take away, and all that we've lost face each other. It is there that I'm adrift, feeling punctured by a holiness that exists inside everything. I am so sad, and everything is beautiful. And this is a good example of what I mean by retrieving a poem, because I followed the inexplicable moment of that feeling. I was led to the insight at the end. I didn't know that when the poem started. This was the reward for being authentic. I arrived at this teaching that then helped me. I didn't know in the very center under it all what we have that no one can take away and what we've lost face each other. There is where I am adrift, feeling punctured by a holiness that exists inside everything. That was the reward for facing the grief. This next poem, a short poem, continues to be a great teacher for me, especially during difficult times. And it's short, and let me read this one twice as it bears it. This is called Mind as Keyhole. Beneath the cloud, everything is gray. Above the cloud, everything is light. Calling the cloud unfair is being a victim. Trying to conquer the cloud is being a hero. Calling the cloud a cloud is the beginning of peace. Mind as keyhole. Beneath the cloud, everything is gray. Above the cloud, everything is light. Calling the cloud unfair is being a victim. Trying to conquer the cloud is being a hero. Calling the cloud a cloud is the beginning of peace. So I have 3 more poems to share with you, and they give you an invitation to take a question with you. And sometimes when we can be authentic enough, we become conduits or vessels for the truth of others. It was Carl Jung who said that the poet and the artist, the poet is the lightning rod for the unconscious. And this is at the heart of all compassion, when living our truth opens us to the truth of others. And this next piece is a story of another that came through me. This is called The Symmetry of Kindness. The train slammed into the station, injuring hundreds. The engineer was critically hurt. People toppled over each other, bouncing across seats and against windows. There was blood and glass everywhere. One woman shimmied her way to the platform when part of the station ceiling fell, pinning her. She thought she would die. Then the hands of fellow passengers lifted her one to another, and she was saved. Later, she wanted to say thank you, but didn't know who to thank. Once on the mend, she retrieved a list of those who were with her that day on that train. And now, one by one, she looks them up, asking if they had helped her. Each of them smiles and says no. Once with them, she can see what each of them needs, and so she helps them along. She unpacks groceries for an old woman, listens to a widower's story, and gives a single mom her umbrella. This has gone on for weeks. She keeps trying to find those who helped her, only to help those she finds. Finally, it occurs to her that this is God's symmetry of kindness. She will never know who helped her, so she can thank and help everyone she meets along the way. And I offer this next poem as an encouragement for the year ahead. It's called To Be and Belong. Let go your want for greatness and feel the tool that's in your hand. Let go your fear of emptiness and receive the wave still reaching from the beginning. It only wants to enliven you the way water refreshes every hole. So let the web of things entangle you. Only stars are free, and they are so lonely. Curse what you will, but give thanks that everything alive wants something from you. You know, when things break down or they don't go as planned, whether individually or globally, as has happened with this pandemic, there are always three archetypal questions that we are called to ask ourselves, and they are: what needs to be repaired? What needs to be reimagined? And what needs to be left dismantled now that it has broken down? And I think these questions are especially relevant today. So I offer this to you as a question to walk with, whether you journal about it, whether you meditate on it, whether you have conversation with a friend or trusted loved one about it, maybe all three. Can you ask yourself in this moment in your life, where we are right now in the life of this pandemic, what needs to be repaired in your life? What needs to be reimagined? And what needs to be left dismantled and not be put back together? Can you describe each very personally and what an initial step toward each effort might look like for you? It's been a joy to be with you today. I thank you so much for this kind of coming home. I spent many years in Albany. It has a dear spot in my heart. And I leave you with this poem of mine called Free Fall. If you have 1 hour of air and many hours to go, you must breathe slowly. If you have 1 arm's length and many things to care for, you must give freely. If you have 1 chance to know God and many doubts, you must set your heart on fire. We are blessed. Each day is a chance. We have 2 arms. Fear wastes air. I wish you many, many blessings as you go forth today. Thank you for having me in your community.
Boy, oh boy. Makes me glad to be part of this community. Just, wow. Thank you so much, Mark. You know, it's funny, I didn't exactly know what direction your talk was going to go, but I chose this song to follow it. And I was thinking about it as you were speaking, and it's a very simple song. Let there be kindness in the world, and let it begin with me. And then there's a little Kyrie eleison, a little Latin phrase that weaves through it, which means, Lord, have mercy. And I was thinking, that's the suffering of the world. And let there be kindness as the opening in the midst of that suffering. So I'm a little blown away. So here we go. Goes like this.
Let there be kindness in the world. Let there be kindness in the world. Let there be kindness in the world. And let it begin with me.
That's the melody. Sing it with us.
Let there be kindness in the world. Let there be kindness in the world. Let there be kindness in the world. And let it begin with me.
Just keep singing.
Let there be kindness in the world. Let there be kindness in the world. Let there be kindness in the world. And let it begin with me. Let there be kindness in the world. Let there be kindness in the world. Let there be kindness in the world. And let it begin with me. Let there be kindness in the world. Let there be kindness in the world. Let there be kindness in the world. And let it begin with me.
One more time.
Let there be kindness in the world. Let there be kindness in the world. Let there be kindness in the world. And let it begin with me. And let it begin with me.
And let it begin with me. Yes. Somehow we're going to go forward with the service now. And this is our offering time. And so we invite you, if you're present in the sanctuary, what we're doing is there's a offering box in the lobby. You can put a check in there if you like, or you can do as many of you are already doing, online giving through PayPal, soon through Vango. If you sign up for that app, you can do it very simply on the phone, especially if you're in the middle of a service and you're really moved and you hit that $200 button on the Vango. So we're going to say together our offering blessing. Together, divine love flowing through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. We are blessed to know that Spirit is our source.
Thank you, Father, Mother, God. And so
it is. We'll do this Ricky Byers song, Use Me. It's kind of what we're talking about today, just to be used by life, by God, by presence. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Use me, oh God, I send for you. And here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. We used to think God was the sun, God is the sun, but God's so much more than the earth and the stars and all of creation. God is creator, all in all, needing us to shine its light as me, as you. So use
show me all that I must do.
Command my hands, what must they do? Command my life, it's here for you. God is the love that heals all creation. God is creator, makes all things new. And God needs us, shine its light as me, as you. So use me, oh God, I stand for you. And here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. God needs us to shine its light. Yes, God needs us to shine its light. God needs us to shine its light as me, as you. So use me, oh God, I stand for you. Here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. Show me all that I must do. God, show me all that I must do. Amen. Oh my gosh, so good to have people singing along with us. I can't tell you. Can't tell you. I'll take a moment at this point in our service to bring to mind any youth in our lives. We have one right back there in the back of the sanctuary. And hold them before us and say this blessing for them, which is, God loves you and accepts you just the way you are. And I love you and accept you just the way you are. I behold the Christ you are. And allow kids to say that back to us in a moment of silence. Thank you. We need you in this world. Be that light. And we have our prayer for protection. Closing prayer. Again, if you're new to this, we've changed it up a little bit with some other friends from different Unity churches have been experimenting as well. So we add after each phrase, I am. So together, the light of God surrounds us. I am light. The love of God enfolds us. I am love. The power of God protects us. I am power. The presence of God watches over us. I am presence. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. I am divine. Hallelujah. Hey, tonight we have a one-song service at 7 o'clock with the focus of a Hindu phrase, Sat Chit Ananda, which means truth, consciousness, or being, and bliss. So that's our focus. Sing a few chants from different traditions. Join us for that at 7 online, or you can come, be right here. Okay. I think that's it. We'll do our closing song. Thank you, everyone. Blessings. Have a wonderful day. Another Ricky Byers song to close. 1, 2, 3.
We let the love wash
the joy.
We let the joy wash over us.
Yes, yes.
We let
In
it
me,
be.
we let the peace.
We let the peace wash over us. We let it be.
We let the grace.
We let the grace wash over us. We let it be.
And we let the love.
We let the love. We let the love wash over us. We let it be.
And let it be.
Let it be. Let it be. Let it be.
There will be an answer.
There will be an answer. Let it be.
So good. Thank you so much. Thank you again, Mark Nepo. Wow.
Yeah.
And join us next Sunday for Greg Lavoie, and I think it'll be another wow. So be with us.
Thank
Blessings.
you.
Namaste.
Thank you.